There's JBL speakers we know of that are in high-profile commercial installations that are 25 years old.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen them. I've seen them up to 30 years old.
Sure.
And another thing that I want to point out about this is that, because I just read the question, he was talking about the complexity of the circuitry. That circuitry, that sound conditioning before it hits that amplifier, is going to extend the life of this speaker, because what kills a speaker over time are the peaks. And let's say you're doing a gig, and I'm just going to elaborate a little bit about this for those who may not understand. Let's say you're doing a gig and you have somebody come up and grab a microphone and they just yell into it, and you overdrive that speaker. Now, you only do that for a couple of seconds before you ride the gain or punch them out or whatever you got to do, or they drop a microphone. So you get these peaks that go into these speakers, and each time that happens, it can ding it. It can, it compromises it just a little bit. So this shortens the life. If you have this conditioning before it gets to the actual physical drivers, and in other words, there's no way that once this is set up, there's no way that you're going to be able to overdrive these speakers to a point where they can't handle it. They're going to last a lot longer.
Well, and I'll give you an interesting fact. More speakers are blown by underpowering them than by overpowering.
Yes, so the integrated...
People don't understand that, and when they're buying passive speakers, they go, "Oh, this is a 400-watt speaker. I should buy a 400-watt amp." The reality is you should buy an 800-watt amp.
Exactly.
You need the headroom, because when you're underpowering a speaker, you're overpowering an amplifier, and the amplifier is putting out square waves, not sine waves anymore. Square waves rip apart voice coils. And
right.
In fact, and most people are very surprised when they think that they've blown a speaker under warranty and they send it in, and the speaker repair guy, whether it's out in the field or here or at any one of our competitors, you can cut that speaker open and look at the voice coil, and you can tell by how the voice coil's damaged what damaged it.
Exactly.
You can tell if it's DC voltage, if it's been, if it's jumped out of the gap, as they call it,
mm-hmm.
or if it's been square waved, and you can tell if it's a manufacturing defect or it's kind of user abuse. And for many years, having been in audio and dealt with drivers, I mean, people are very surprised that they need to buy way more power. I put it to them this way: it's like having an engine in your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your power amplifier. If you're on the highway, you need to pass somebody, and you're in a little Volkswagen, and you're going 55, you're going to have to really push it to get around somebody quick. However, if you're in a Corvette and you have tons of headroom,
mm-hmm.
you just touch the gas and you're around that guy and back into safety. Having headroom is really, really important to driver safety. Now, when we built these systems, you're absolutely right. We optimize that system for driver protection. And when you're buying a JBL powered system, that's kind of built into it.
Exactly. And the other thing is that they cannot, drivers can't handle DC. I mean, even if you've got the power right, and that's something you just touched on, is that if you somehow or another, some of these MOSFET amplifiers will feed DC, and that will blow them out quick too. And I've seen that happen. So when you it's the best of both worlds with the self-powered thing, because you're avoiding all of those pitfalls. Beautiful.
Well, you got some other questions out there for me?
Anything going on in the chat, Scott?
Something about his all of the complexities and designs of these speakers. It's just very surprising that some of our guests that are watching are very surprised at some of the quality of home-based speakers, that they don't go through potentially the same rigorous tests as professional-grade speakers. And we're not talking just about JBL. We're talking about home speakers across the line, how in the professional realm, there's so much TLC that's put into the product itself and the testing, yet in a home-based speaker setup, sometimes the quality's not as great as that. And I think that it comes around to you get what you're paying for. If you're looking for a professional quality sound, you need to go to that professional quality product.
Exactly.
Well, and it's also the environment that it's being used in. A home-based speaker, like something for your home theater, your stereo. You're not putting it through the rigorous moving around and loud volumes and peak volumes like you were referring to. Most JBL stuff is, the legacy comes from, our tour rigs, right? These things are out on tour around the world with the biggest acts in the world, 52 weeks a year. Those systems can't go down.
Absolutely.
No.
And so we portable PA, JBL portable PA, we benefit from that experience.
Absolutely.
Right?
The beating it like a dead horse.
Engineer those systems are engineering things like PRX.
Exactly. And take it from somebody like me, I mean, both me and Scott through the years have probably done thousands of live events, and the worst thing that could possibly happen is that you go out there and you got all your stuff and you drag it out of the truck and you set it up and you turn it on and, oh my God, it doesn't work.
Or for that matter, for Richard, from my standpoint, I can speak from the JBL product line experience from being both a consumer and an enjoyer of it, and I like to call myself that on the JBL line, is opening up your trailer about to haul gear in for your rig, and you're doing your load in and setup, and your speaker's up on the pole, and the pole happens to collapse in some way, shape, or form. Speaker falls off, crashes to the ground. It's rolling off the stage. You have a heart attack, and you're thinking that your world's come to an end. But you take that same speaker and you crank it back up on your shoulder, and you throw it up onto a pole, or you pull it back up into the rafters as you're flying these things, and the darn thing just works. And that's a peace of mind that I think that if you're going to invest into a professional quality PA system for your portable PA setup, definitely take a look at the JBL product line, because I'm a true attestament to the actual product itself. I've been using it for over 10 years, and these things are just a workhorse. And like I said, I've only had to replace my cone once on the main 15, and that was not because of anything that JBL did wrong. I know straight out it was the music that was being played through it and the amplifier that was driving it.
This has just been flat out fascinating, Richard. Will you come back on the show sometime?
Oh, absolutely. And I'd like to, I'll talk to my compadres here in the different vertical markets and at the different companies, and get on there and talk to your customers about the products that make a difference in their lives. I mean, this is the thing for me. This is what attracts me to this. I know you guys are, I call you wing nuts.
We're nuts, that's for sure.
Audio. What I love about it, man, is that it's certainly in portable PA, we're building products that we sell to people that have aspirations, they want to entertain people. They realize some dreams, or it's some escape for them when they use the product. And the product has got to be good, and it's got to be durable, and you have to count on it, and you have to love the way it sounds. And that's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build those tools that get you as a customer, as a consumer, and I'm a customer as well. It sounds like a hair club for men, but I think everybody in this industry is a customer of what we build, we want to have great gear. We want to love it. We want to enjoy it. We want it to sound good, and we want people that are listening to it to enjoy it as well. So for me, it's as much fun as it is work.
Absolutely. And like Joe said, this is absolutely just a thrill to have you on the show today, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy afternoon on a Friday to come out and hang out with us for just a tad bit and talk about what JBL is doing, both from an industry standpoint, in development and testing, and some of that stuff just blows me away. Especially the Pink Noise 100-hour test. I mean, if that doesn't speak true, I don't know what does. But more importantly, I mean, the PRX series that you guys have just released, that we've been flying the pictures in on the screen during the interview. I think that this is just a fantastic product line. I can't wait to get my hands on this to put it to the test in the setups that I do and the events that I actually put on. and they range from small people to hundreds and hundreds of people. So we have to actually use delay transmitters when we're actually having to float satellite speakers throughout the area. So I certainly appreciate you coming on the show. And again, if you want to learn more about JBL's products, go to the JBL Pro Audio site that we will have on the past guest link that's at the top of the screen. It'll be posted right after the show today. And of course, this interview, because it was great, and I learned a lot about this, can be viewed on demand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, right after the show by clicking on the previous show, which is, this is what, show 5. So yes. You can actually take a look at show 5, and you'll be able to watch this interview all over again, grab grandma and the kids, and pop some popcorn, make a night out of it. Richard, we certainly appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yes, thank you very much for being here, Richard, and we hope to hear from you again soon.
My pleasure, guys. Have a great weekend.
You
too now.
Okay. Bye.